All right, so we have Lucas here who just recently got a role in Spine. So he just recently ended up breaking into medical device sales. So I wanted to get him on here just to do a little like testimonial, just to see what his thoughts were, going through the whole entire interview process and other kind of questions as well. Um, so to start off with, like before we started working together, what kind of challenges were you facing, like trying to break into med sales, like if any?
Knowing where to start. I mean, I can look up like a couple things like YouTube videos and stuff like that, but it all kind of was based around just messaging people on LinkedIn. But I didn't realize that the sales navigator was out there. So when I got with you, you told me about the sales navigator. But as far as prior to, I didn't know where to start. There was videos on like interview questions, but I didn't know how to get into an interview because I was coming from an accounting background. So there was interview questions, there was things to tailor your resume, there was things like reach out to people on LinkedIn to network. I didn't know where I should have started on that. So
Mm,
those were the main three things that I was looking at. Is
mm.
coming from an accounting background, everything matters on the resume. And in medical sales, the resume is probably the last thing that honestly matters. What matters is, your networking and then your interview capabilities.
Yeah, very true. I think if you try and break in without prior sales experience or med sales experience, the
Yeah.
resume matters way less. Obviously, it
Mhm.
matters way more once you start getting more tenured in
Yeah.
other med sales jobs. But yeah, starting out in the beginning, it's an interesting thing to get in. So, what made you decide to seek coaching instead of trying to do everything on your own?
Just things weren't really working that much, and I didn't know where to start. I mean, do I tailor my resume? And some YouTubers like this is how you tailor your resume. On LinkedIn, I follow some forums. They'll say tailor your resume like this. But I just looked up a couple of YouTube videos on there and YouTube channels, and I found you, and I was like, oh, perfect. And you had your calendar set up on your YouTube and everything. I was like, I'm gonna get in on a call with him. And I remember I was in Evansville, Indiana, and I was driving back, and you and me were emailing back and forth, and I was like, oh, I got to get on this today. I was super excited. I think we ended up getting on at like what, like 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, yeah, man. I
Like
have
it's
the
too late.
calendar bookings pretty late, man, because that's the only
Yeah.
time I can even get
Yeah.
back to like do it. Um, all right. So, what was your biggest like fears or frustrations just in the job search process, like before we started working together?
Not having sales experience because if you get on Reddit, everybody there, Reddit's in itself is an extremely negative platform. But they were on there and they were just like, no, if you don't have any sales experience, like it's best to go to B2B sales and everything like that. So you can get some sales experience put on your resume and then get into medical devices. The second one was just the interview process. I didn't know how the interview process went. Most of the YouTube videos I found were just basically around closing. But as far as like the basic questions, I couldn't really find anything on that. I mean, I could, but from what I've read, each company is different a little bit when it comes to the interview questions.
Yeah,
So
they are. Yeah, 100%. So what was your first impression of like the coaching process and whatnot? Like, did you leave the first ones like feeling good? Like, I was about to say, you can be honest, but this is like, what was kind of your first impression of it?
I was motivated. I mean, you gave me the first thing you said was, I mean, obviously introduction, and then you were like, so they love military people, and I was like,
I
let's
was
go.
like, yeah,
That's
right
about
on.
foundational. Yeah, just they
That's
love
true.
military people. I was like, perfect, perfect. But no, it was just after the first one, I just left motivated. You told me they love military people. Second of all, you told me about the sales navigator. You get 1 month free. So I went ahead and did that. And third one was you would help me continuously with the interviews if I got any. And I was like, perfect. So I got somebody here that not only reassured me that they love military people, two, he told me he'd help me with the interview process. And I was like, wow, that's perfect. That's what I needed. So,
All right, so let's do so. What specific tools, strategies, or insights did you find the most helpful throughout the process?
networking with people. The more phone calls I got on, the more I could practice. Just how to talk. I mean, I know how to talk, but just like to practice that little sales lingo and
Hmm.
everything like that, learning about the products, which is a huge plus if you're ever going to have an interview, learning about the products. Um, and two, just working on those interview questions with you and just going about everything.
That is a good point. So how did like the one-on-ones like between you and I change how you would have approached interviews?
I wouldn't have known where to go. I would have just been like accounting, like, okay, I'm just going to answer the questions that they asked me. But when I got in there, it was completely different. It was more like you're having a conversation with somebody and the questions are just flowing. And
Mhm.
if you get in that little flow state with them, you're good. But I was preparing for it to be just like accounting, where you just sit there and you're like, okay, what do you do right here? What did you do in this scenario? What did you do in this scenario? And at
uh,
the end, very structured. And then at the end, do you have any questions for me? And then you ask the questions. No, it wasn't like that. In my interview, it was just flow state. We're talking, we're having a conversation, getting out a couple laughs, and then you throw in some questions here and there. They throw in some questions, but yeah.
I like that, man. Did anything surprise you, like coaching wise or anything like that, like in a positive way? Like anything that any way that we went about certain things, did any of that surprise you?
Oh yeah, the what you said about the sales navigator was one thing, because I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought you just bought LinkedIn Premium and that was it. It's like,
Yeah, Sales
okay.
Navigator's so good, man. I used to use it. I
Oh,
mean, I used it when I moved to Atlanta to try and like get some things going, just even
it's
for the my W-2.
it's so in depth on when you can go down to like just regular like associates, because on the regular premium you couldn't really, I don't remember, but I don't remember it being where you can filter it out by job title, because if not, I would have been asking, the area sales director. I remember I did reach out to like the area sales director because he accepted my connection immediately, and I was like, I got left on
No
red
better time
immediately.
like now.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna shoot it up just to see. But no, if it was just me, and if you would have told me not to reach out to associates, I would have been reaching out to way larger people, like executives, senior executives in the company. And to be honest, I wouldn't think they would give me some more of their time. But what you said about the associates and the other roles would be a lot better gig.
Yeah, that is a good tidbit that I feel like a lot of people don't use. It's like I love cold messaging like associates and stuff like that because
Yeah,
they just got in and we're going through the exact same things
yeah,
and like they're the ones that are close with their bosses and their bosses are the ones that usually get things done. So I feel like cold messaging the associates, you're bound to get a response way more than doing someone that's like tenured,
yeah.
especially in med device.
Also, man, I mean, your ability to just get as much information from the products as you can in like a 24 to 48 hour notice was incredible. I did not get any of that stuff. Like knowledge about the products, about companies like that. I couldn't find anything on it. I mean, you generated some things where we were working on interview questions where you were asking me some things like, where did he get that from? And I studied hard.
I was gonna say, man, it does help that I was both in spine. So when you told me you were
Yeah.
interviewing in spine, I was like, oh, that actually probably couldn't have gone any better. I was like, that would be like the easiest thing.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So, what were your biggest wins or breakthroughs that you experienced during the process? Like, is there anything specific, like either after an interview or anything like that, where you're like, oh, wow, okay, I might have this.
Uh, Actually, during the first interview, just being able to get the two people to crack a laugh, that like builds confidence. So I mean, I sat down and it was kind of like up in the wind, but I threw out a joke and it ended up working.
That's
Maybe
good.
with another person it wouldn't work, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna throw out a joke, see if it works. And just them being like getting out of character and laughing, that's where I was like, okay, the nerves have dropped here. I can we can work with this.
That's a really good thing too, because even outside of the scope of just trying to get the job, you
Yeah.
especially in hardware, you have to really like and mesh with the people that you work with
Mhm.
because you can work some long hours, man. And like if you don't have someone that you really actually enjoy being around for all those hours and whatnot, it
Yeah.
makes it 10 times harder. I'm telling you. So, um, it's funny actually. When I was at Medtronic, I loved the guy that I worked with. Like he was really good, definitely like the best rep that I've ever seen. But um, I used to keep a tally in my notes in my phone of how many times I actually made this guy laugh because he was like so
So,
stoic, dude, that he like
yeah.
never joked about anything. And
Yeah.
I was like the times that I made Mike laugh in each of these times, it was like I just wrote it down. I'm like, this thing has to be dated. This is like gonna
Dude,
be like an artifact.
the best way to make friends with people, I swear, is just making them laugh. Or best way to connect with people is, if you start laughing, or if you think somebody's funny, you're instantly going to be like, oh, this guy's cool.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So, how did you feel when you received the job offer?
I honestly couldn't really believe it. The verbal offer, I was like, there's no way this is happening. There's no way it's happening right now. Like driving back, I was like, I think I didn't put on any music for like a good 30 to 45 minutes on the drive back, just soaking everything in. And then when I got the official written offer, it was like, oh, let's go. Because like I previously said, I mean, the verbal offer came that Monday before Thanksgiving, and I didn't like get anything back for that whole week and weekend. And I was like just on the edge of my seat. Thanksgiving dinner with my family, just like the only thing going through my mind is, will that written offer get rescinded? Did they find somebody else? It's like, oh, I don't know. Or will that verbal offer get rescinded? But that Monday morning, I got it, and I was like, oh, let's go. It finally came.
Yeah,
So
man, those feelings are hard to make not happen. I don't
yeah,
think anyone after that doesn't feel that way. So I know you haven't started your first day yet, but like, how has breaking into medical device sales impacted like your life so far? Like, what do you think the future impact is going to be from this now?
amazing. I mean, the way I see it is it catapulted me, honestly. Catapulted me to do the things that I genuinely wanted to do. I've always liked being around people. I've always liked talking to people. I don't know why. I talk to all my friends and they're always like, "Why are you an accountant? Like, you talk to everybody. Like, you need to go into sales." It's like, I don't know. So, I mean, just number one, just I know the job satisfaction, just me day to day is going to be great too. Just being around people, it's a plus. And three, being in the medical industry, surrounded when I was in that OR, seeing how the surgeons operate, how that whole team works from the scrub tech all the way up to the surgeon, I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. Like
Yeah, they're
everything,
smart people.
yeah, I was like, everything is super coordinated. And then when you're around people like that, birds of a feather flock together. When you're around people like that, you're only going to make yourself better. And when I was doing that interview process and going through the shadow, like and my boss and the guy that I was shadowing with, they were just on top of their game. And just being around that, there's no reason for me not to excel in this field. I just gotta put in the effort.
Yeah, man, it's a whole new world, and
Yeah,
it takes a little while to learn, but it's such a good skill, especially in spine, because once you learn it, then you become so marketable and whatnot, and you really realize how long
really.
it takes to train those people up like that. So then you have the skill that you can market yourself very well if you would ever need to find another job. Um, so who would you recommend this coaching to?
Everybody wants to get into medical sales. Literally everyone. Like anyone that's starting and just doesn't know where to start, give Matt Moran a call. Like
I
legitimately.
appreciate
Yeah.
that. No, I do. I appreciate that a ton.
It-
Um,
it's you just have so much. Number one, you have prior knowledge because you didn't have sales experience breaking in. Number two, you know everything about the product. Number three, you've been through multiple interviews, so you have that knowledge from multiple interviews in med sales, and you just combine all of those. And you got you, and then you can just put that towards all of us, including me. And I'm not the first person you helped get a job. I know that, but I know without you, I don't think I would have been able to get it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, man. I mean, you were very diligent about doing things too, because I think like the biggest thing, a lot of people will like fall off at a certain point in time. Like they will just like stop responding, stop trying, and that's kind of it. And really,
Yeah.
I feel like the people that don't do that are the ones that like always break in. I haven't seen anyone not break in that's like still trying. It's been
Yeah.
working with me for like a year. Like that just doesn't happen. Usually in a period of like a month or two.
Mm.
Um, so what would you? This will be the last question for you too, and we'll wrap it up. What is your number one piece of advice that you would give to someone that's been struggling to get a med device job? That's in that was in your same boat to just kind of keep them motivated to keep going.
I mean, you're gonna have people that are gonna leave you on red. You're gonna have people that aren't really gonna give you much advice. You're gonna have people that when you get on a phone call, you've been trying to reach a guy for a couple of weeks. You get on the phone call and he goes, "Yeah, man, you should honestly just go and get a B2B sales experience. Just keep going. Just don't give up on it. Seriously, like don't let those bad things just keep you down." And another thing I would honestly do is I had an Excel tracker for everyone that I kept up with and gave me a call and everything like that. I'd write down the name, the company they were at, and everything like that. And I'd be sure to just keep in touch with them, every other day, just shoot them a text and be like, hey, can we hop on a call at this time? Hey, do you have any time to talk again this time? And people will actually appreciate that. But just having that Excel file will just let you know when you should, reach out to somebody, who you reach out to, who you should probably keep in contact with. Because for instance, like if you wanted to get like a job at Intuitive and position just opened up in wherever territory you're at or whatever state you're at, and you've been keeping in contact with this guy from Intuitive, you can just go in there and ask him, hey, would you recommend me for this job? And boom, there you go. You got a recommendation for the job.
Yeah, that's so important to just keep
Yeah.
all these touch points with certain
Yeah.
people and keep positive lights over anything, especially if
Mhm.
they can't offer you a job right now, not to be
Yeah.
like, okay, cool, we'll see you later. It's,
Yeah.
you got to be in good mind with all these because you want to be the first person that's top of mind when something opens up because something is going to open up at some point in
Yeah.
time.
And also, as soon as you get the job, which is something I did, just reach out to everyone that helps you. I don't care if you reached out to 148 people, like reach out to those 148 people and thank them, even if they aren't in that specific company. Like just reach out and say, hey, thanks, because you never know when your paths are going to cross, or I don't know if you ever wanted to pursue another opportunity, they might be able to help you and they will remember you as being that guy that
It's
always kept up.
funny you
Yeah.
mentioned that because I actually had this guy reach out to me. I never worked on with him with like a one by one basis, but I think he just DM'd me on LinkedIn and I was answering some questions for him. And he said he got a job with Stryker. Actually messaged me, and that was like a year and a half later. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh! I was like,
There you go.
yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, he actually like even remembered that. So yeah, he definitely took a page out of that book. But yeah, so thank you for coming on here. I'm gonna go ahead and post this up on YouTube. I'll post your LinkedIn, Lucas, as well, if anyone wants to send you any kind of, messages or anything like that, or ask you about anything.
For free. I love talking to people. So you all don't be, and I'm not going to be like, oh no, you got to do this, you got to do that. No, I'll just give me a call, shoot me a message, and we'll set up a call, and boom, I'll help anybody out.